What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. In today's video, I'm going to just do a quick video to tell you what happened yesterday when I was on the phone with a client for Santander. And this isn't something that I'm doing for everybody. This was just happened to be a special situation. And it's I guess I call it the universe. Like I needed to be on the phone three-way for this call because it's going to help. It helped me get the information that I'm about to give to you, and this is straight from someone that is one level below the executive group, and I'm going to explain what the executive team, from their words, executive team. But let me first start off with Santander. If you don't know, or if you haven't seen none of my other videos, or if you haven't seen the news reports, this is a subprime auto lending company, and they mainly finance people that cannot get qualified in other places. And I put that in quotes because we don't know that because of the different incentives that they gave auto dealers to bring loans to them. And I've learned that the major dealers were also selling loans to them. So, but everybody that, when they hear the word Santander and they got an auto loan, everybody thinks that it was just because you couldn't get qualified anywhere else. I don't believe that. I think that maybe you were going to pay a higher interest rate, but it's not that you wouldn't get qualified anywhere else. They entered into a settlement. I don't know if well, I guess they did say that they were doing certain things or they wouldn't have agreed. But basically, bottom line is that they have to wipe out all the negative information on people's credit reports. They have to knock out all of the debt deficiencies off of the credit reports. They have to forgive the debt deficiencies with people. There is 34 states, but from what I'm seeing, it really, if you get your information in, it can happen for you even if you're not in those states, because they have another lawsuit that's in the pipeline. And then the biggest benefit is that some people will actually get their cars paid off, and they will get the title on their car. And then those are the people that are going to benefit the most. And then probably the people that's going to benefit the least are the ones who had their car repossessed. The car was sold. Basically, from the way we read it in the lawsuit, in the settlement, is that they're only going to get a $200 and something. But if they have a deficiency over their head, they're going to get that taken off of their credit reports and the debt forgiven. If the debt was sold to a debt collector, and they're currently trying to collect, that debt must be sent back. If you've been paying a debt collector, if you know how to do it, or you can contact an attorney, or you can make the request yourself to that debt collection company that they give you all your money back, and that Santander buy that back from them. That's the way that it's supposed to work. Obviously, it's not working that easy right now. It's a lot of work to go into it. Also, Santander and the attorney generals from the state hired a company called Rusk to administer everything, and they're dragging their feet. Everybody's running people in circles. You call Santander, they tell you to call the Attorney General. Attorney General tells you to call Santander. Then Attorney General and Santander tells you to go to the website, which is being managed by the administrator who was paid by both of them to handle all of this, and they haven't done any updates at all. So that's where all of that is at. Now, let's get into the conversation that I had. This was with a current Santander customer that has a vehicle that was getting repossessed. She called me because she was like, hey, they sent me a letter saying they're going to repossess my vehicle. So something just told me I need to get on the phone and let's just see what could happen. And it ended up being a big benefit for everyone, including myself. In a way, it's like insider information on what's going on with them right now. So the first thing I want to talk about is they had sent the repossession order, mailed it to her, saying they're going to repo her vehicle on Monday, this past Monday, if she didn't pay $1,500, which that's a whole nother story on that gimmick that they got running, where you pay this fee. So to not get it, she had to pay that. So basically, I'd asked her, "What is your goal?" She said, "I've been paying on this vehicle since 2014, $700 and some a month since 2014. That's a lot of money. Let's add that up: $775 times 12, and we're talking 6 years. Let's just say 5 years. It's $46,000 on a vehicle that's a 2010. That's a lot of money, and she still had till 2022. So I said, what do you want to do? She really said she can't deal with it, but she would rather have them pay off the vehicle, and that's why she did the demand letter that we had put together, and those links are below this video. So she got the demand letter, and she did do the do-it-yourself one, and she sent that in, but she got that letter that they're going to repossess. And so I just got on the phone. We did a three-way. And when we got on the phone, first thing is I was just digging for information from Santander once we went through all of the privacy stuff. Digging. And the first thing that I wanted to do, since she needed her vehicle because she needed to get to work, is I said, okay, let me ask about deferments, because there's a lot of people that claim when they call Santander that they would not do anything for them on a deferment. And from my own experience from dealing with companies with deferments, if you're behind, you're rarely going to get a deferment. I think in all my videos I said you won't get one because you already been deferred from not making your payments. So I just threw it out there and said, she's working sporadically. They're not giving her all her hours due to COVID-19. So what could you do on a payment deferment? And they actually said, explain your hardship. Just the same way that I always tell people, they said, explain your hardship and then we'll make a decision. And they make the decision on the spot. They basically just need to type in some information for their upper management. But they can actually approve the deferment because the company wants to keep you as a customer, especially $700 and some a month. So they asked her flat out, and I couldn't answer this for her, but I tried to kind of hint to her, you need to take as much time as you want, as you can get. And they asked her, and she said, well, I just need to the end of the month, and I can take care of it. So, and I was like, are you sure you just need to the end of the month? She said, yes, just to the end of the month. And they said, after that, will you be able to move forward after that? And she said, yes, she thinks she could. And, but if we wasn't three-way, I could have actually told her more about how you need to talk to them about the deferments. And I'm going to go into that real quick. She could have basically probably got 3 to 6 months deferment, considering what's going on with COVID-19. So I was trying to, hint it to her. I said, before she would answer, I said, you need to think about it 100% before you decide on if you can pay it at that time. I said, are you sure? But she could have gotten probably another 3 months. But what they ended up doing is they took the payments that she already missed and they gave her until the end of the month, and they considered that whole thing as a deferment rather than putting her into where they were going to say that she was behind on the payments and set for repo. So in a way, they just reset everything and said, okay, we're going to consider those months deferred. We are going to add the interest on that. And then next, at the end of the month, July, you make a payment. We just cruise we just cruised like nothing ever happened. Uh, they had a weird way of explaining how they add the interest on top when you get deferments. I felt like it was like how Tony Soprano would tell you, like, hey, if you miss the payment, we put you're gonna have the interest. We're gonna make that interest into new principal, and that's what they do with the mafia. They're like, hey, you missed those payments. What you were supposed to pay me on that becomes the new principal amount. So that's like you have a new amount, and that makes it to where the interest that they're charging, it's not on your old principal amount. It's gonna be on your new principal amount, which will increase your payments actually. And I had made her aware that your payments are going to be different now because of that. But you don't have to play catch up, but it's still going to be very tough. So that was what we did just as the solution for that right now. Now let's get into the demand letter part. We had stated to her uh, that that we were doing the demand letter, and the demand letter was stating that she wanted to get the vehicle and the title, and some things and I got my notes here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I just went through that. That was my notes on the deferment. So we said one of the things that the rep at Santander said right away was that they've gotten thousands of demand letters from various attorneys all across the country. So they set up a process to take in those demand letters. That's how the universe works. I thought I was coming up with something on my own. It looks like a lot of people, especially attorneys, came up with this on their own when they first got this, to where they didn't want, their Santander, a person hired them and said, I don't want to be waiting on this class action. I want to be proactive and see what can happen on my own. I don't, because when you work with class action settlements, it's usually the customer gets the bad end of the stick on there. So they said that there's thousands of people that are sending them in. And what they did is they set up a process so when they get it, it goes to an executive team for review. And when they get it, it becomes an escalated account. Now, she didn't go into full detail about an escalated account, but what I'm thinking is that when it gets escalated, that it kind of gets put on hold. But she did state that no matter what, you still have to continue making your payments and everything, even though it's in that escalated status. She received the document, or whoever else receives it in their office. They send it to the executive team. Executive team reviews it, and then they send it up to the legal team. And then the legal team does whatever they're going to do. She did not know what was their process or anything, but she said that that's where it's going to be put in to either be in the settlement or not in the settlement, or she said she just didn't know. So basically, what I had imagined is true. If you get a demand letter, preferably one with an attorney on there, because basically probably what they're doing is when they get it and it's a regular demand letter from the customer, maybe it can get moved up, but I'm pretty sure if you have one with an attorney's letterhead, automatically it's going to be pushed up, because they want to make sure that they're not going to be liable for anything, and they believe that that person has legal representation, so they're going to take that more serious. That's with anything. But not to say if you can't afford it, send a demand letter and just let it fall, let everything fall where it may. And that's exactly what this customer, what she's doing. She did not pay to have the attorney send it. She did it herself from our letters that we designed, and she sent it, and it still did make it to that team. So now, one of the things that did shock me, and this representative did know this, and I'm glad she said it. It's kind of bad news, but bad news is good news if because you know. When you know what you're dealing with. She basically said that it could take up to 1 year to resolve this, even if your name is in there as someone that is supposed to get the relief, get the title on the car, everything. She stated that you have to do everything until that is signed, sealed, and delivered. And I said, well, how fair is that when your name is included to be in the settlement and they know they're going to have to give you your car and you still have to make the payments on it and struggle when they're not going to give you the money back. They're just going to forgive the debt on the car and give you the title. And she just said she had no answer for that. And she said again, and I'll repeat it again, that it can take up to 1 year. That's what they've been told. It can take up to 1 year to resolve this. Now, let me take a quick drink. My own personal feelings. This is not from what she said, my own personal feelings. If you got millions of clients, or let's just say you have hundreds of thousands of clients that's going to qualify for this relief, where they're going to get their vehicles. You have $550 million that you have to pay in the settlement in any roundabout way, either giving the cars and forgiving the loans, forgiving debt deficiencies on balances of cars that were taken, and the $230 something that you're going to pay to people that had already had their vehicles taken. Basically, what they're doing is they had a very savvy legal team, because their legal team said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and just say, come to your terms and say that we're gonna settle. These are our terms. We made $4.5 billion. We'll go ahead and give you $550 million. You know, we'll keep the other $4 billion. Also, we'll take a year. We'll take a year to get this all done. We'll pay the administrator and take a year to get this all done and make everybody still struggle to make payments to us for a year. Are they really losing any money if for 1 year, if everybody has a struggle that's even included, that they know 100% is included in the settlement, and they're going to struggle to make payments for the next year? They're really paying for this next year. That money is really what's going to be used in the settlement. They're not even coming out of their pocket of money that they made already to pay the settlement. So that's how I feel. I feel that that's totally unfair. That's like, I mean, their attorneys tore up the attorney generals with that one, because they were like, you're going to agree to this, and then you're going to give us up to a year to get everything in order and start taking care of people. A lot of people are going to just quit, which comes to another thing that I talk about in my videos, that they want people to quit. When it comes to stuff like this, what they want people to do is just to quit and give up. The more people that quit and give up, the less that they're going to have to pay. And the quicker they're going to be able to just go straight back into doing business the way that they were doing it. So that's the update. If you have any questions, please post your question or comments here. If you have personal questions where you don't want people to see it, some people do have questions like that. They're either embarrassed or something, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about a question on my channel. I don't make fun of anybody. There's stuff that I don't know, but you can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. I got it up here on the video, and put your question in the live chat. I get in there and answer those on a daily basis. If you need help with your credit, visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website www.your3scores.com. The link is on here and then below. That's a way that I support the time that I use making the videos for the channel. So this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you, and until next time.